Hi all, I'm Pushp Sirohi back with one more ancient document of India named Karma and its effect on character. Let's enjoy. The word karma is derived from the Sanskrit kri to do all action is karma. Technically, this word also means the effect of action. In connections with metaphysics, it sometimes means the effects of which our past actions were the causes. But in Karma Yoga, we have simply to do with the word karma is meaning work. The goal of mankind is knowledge. That is the one idol placed before us by Eastern philosophy. Pleasure is not the goal of men, but knowledge. Pleasure and happiness come to an end. It is a mistake to suppose that pleasure is the goal. The cause for all the miseries we have in the world is that the men foolishly think pleasure to be the ideal to strive for. After time, man finds that it's not happiness, but knowledge toward which he is going, and what both pleasure and pains are great teachers, and that he learns as much from evil as from good. As pleasure and pains pass from before his souls, they have upon it different pictures. And the results of these combined impressions is that what it is called man's character. If you take the character of any man, it really is but the aggregate of tendencies, the sum total of the bent of his mind. You will find that the misery and happiness are equal factors in the formation of the character. Good and evil have an equal share in molding character, and in some instances, misery is a great teacher than happiness. In studying the great character the world has produced, I dare say, in the vast majority of cases, it would be found that it was misery that taught more than happiness. It was poverty that taught more than wealth. It was blows that brought out their inner fire more than praise. Now, this knowledge again is inherent in men. No knowledge comes from outside, it is all inside. What we say a man knows should, in a strictly psychological language, be what he discovers or unravels. What a man learns is really what he discovers by taking the covers off his own soul, which is mine of infinite knowledge. We say Newton discovered gravitation. Was it sitting anywhere in corner waiting for him? It was in his own mind. The time came he found it out. All knowledge that the world has ever received comes from the mind. The infinite library of the universe in your own mind. The external world is simply the suggestion, the occasion which set you to study your own mind. But the object of your study is always your own mind. The falling of an apple gave the suggestions to Newton, and he studied his own mind. He rearranged all the previous link of thoughts in his mind and discovered a new link among them, which we call the law of gravitation. It was not in the apple nor in anything, in the center of the earth. All knowledge, therefore, secular or spiritual, is in the human mind. In many cases, it is not discovered but remains covered. And when the covering is being slowly taken off, we say we are learning. And the advance of knowledge is made by the advance of this process of uncovering. The man from whom this will is being lifted is the more knowing man. The man upon whom it lies thick is ignorant, and the man from whom it has entirely gone is all knowing, omniscient. There have been omniscient men, and I believe there will be yet, and that there will be myriads of them in the cycles to come. Like fire in the piece of flint, knowledge exists in mind. Suggestions is the frictions which brings it out. So with all our feelings and actions, our tears and our smiles, our joy and our griefs, our weeping and our laughters, our courses and our blessings, our praise and our blames, every one of these we may find if we calmly study our own selves to have been bought out from within ourselves by so many blows. The result is what we are, and all these blows taken together are called karma. Work, action, every mental and the physical blow that is given to the soul by which, as it were, Fire is struck from it, and by which it owns power and knowledge, and discovered as karma. This word being used in its widest sense. Thus, we are all doing karma all the time, and I'm talking to you. This is karma. You are listening, that is karma. We breathe, that is karma. We walk karma. Everything we do, physical or mental, is karma. And it leaves its marks on us. There are certain works which are as it were. They aggregate the sum total of a large number of smaller works. If we stand near the seashore and hear the waves dashing against the singles, we think it's such a great noise, and yet we know that one wave is really composed of millions and millions of minutes waves. Each one of these is a making a noise, and yet we do not catch it. It is only when they become the big aggregate that we hear. Similarly, every pulsations of the heart is work. Certain kind of work we feel as they become tangible to us. They are at the same time the aggregated of a number of small works. If you realize or want to judge of the character of a man, look not at his greatest performance. Every fool may become a hero at one time or another. Watch a man do his most common actions. Those are ended are the things which will let tell you the real character of a great man. Great occasions rose even the lowest of human beings to some kind of greatness. But he alone is the really great man whose character is great always, the same wherever he be. Karma and its effects on character is the most tremendous power that man has to deal with. Man is at its war, a center and his attraction, all the powers of the universe toward himself. And in this center is fusing them all and again, sending them off in a big current. Such a center is a real man, the Almighty, the Omniscient, and he draw the whole universe toward him, good and bad, misery and happiness, all are running toward him and cling around him. And out of them he fashions the mighty stream of tendency called character and throws it outward. As he was the power of drawing in anything, so has he the powers of throwing it out. All the actions that we see in the world, all the moments in human society, all the works that we have around us are simply the display of thoughts, the manifestations of will of man. Machines or instruments, cities, ships, or men of war, all these are simply the manifestations of the will of man. And this will is caused by character, and character is manufactured by karma. As is karma, so it is the manifestations of the will. The men of mighty will the world has produced have all been tremendous workers, gigantic souls, with will powerful enough to overturn worlds. Will they got by persistent work, though ages and ages, such as gigantic will, as that of Buddha or Jesus, could not be obtained in one life. For we know who their fathers were. It is not known that their fathers ever spoke a word for good or mankind. Millions and millions of carpenters, like Joseph and gone, millions are still living. Millions and millions of pretty kings like Buddha father has been in the world. It was only a case of hereditary transmission. How do you account for this pretty prince, who was not perhaps obeyed by his own servant producing this son, whom half a world worshipped? How do you explain the gulf between the carpenter and the gigantic will which Buddha and Jesus threw over the world? Whence did it come? Whence came the accumulation of power? It must have been there through ages and ages, continually growing bigger and bigger until it burst on society in a Buddha or a Jesus, even rolling down to the present day. All this is determined by karma, work. No one can get anything unless he earns it. This is an eternal law. We may sometimes think it is not so, but in the long run we become convinced of it. A man may struggle for his life for riches. He may cheat thousands, but he finds at the last that he did not deserve to become rich, and his life become a trouble and nuisance to him. We may go on accumulating things for our physical enjoyment, but only what we earn is really ours. A fool may buy all the books in the world and they will be in the library, but he will be able to read only those that he deserves to. And the deserving is produced by karma. Our karma determines what we deserve and what we can assimilate. We are responsible for what we are and whatever we wish ourselves to be. We have the power to make ourselves. If what we are now has been the result of our own past actions, it certainly follows that whatever we wish to be in future can be produced by our present actions. So we have to know how to act. You will say, what is the use of learning how to work? Everyone works in same way or other in this world. But there is such a thing as frittering away our energies. With regards to Karma Yoga, the Gita says that it is doing work with cleverness and as a science. By knowing how to work, only can obtain the greatest result. You must remember that all work is simply to bring out the power of mind, which is already there to wake up the soul. The power is inside every man, so is knowing. The different works are likely blows to bring them out, to cause these giants to wake up. Men work with various motives. They cannot be work without motives. Some people want to get fame and they work for fame. Others want money and they work for money. Others want to have power and they work for power. Others want to get to heaven and they work for the same. Others want to leave a name when they die as they do in China, when no man gets a little until he is dead. And that is better way after all than with us. When a man does something very good there, they give a little of nobility to his father, who is dead, or to his grandfather. Some people work for that. Some of the followers of certain Muhammad sects work all their lives to have a big tomb built for them when they die. I know sects among whom, as soon as a child is born, a tomb is prepared for it. There is among them and most important work a man has to do, and the bigger of the finer the tomb, the better of the man is supposed to be. Other works as a pinnacle, do all sorts of wicked things, then erect a temple, or give something to the priest to buy them off and obtain from the passport to heaven. They think that this kind of beneficence will clear them and they will go scot free in spite of their sinfulness. Such are some of the various motives of works. Work for work's sake, there are some who are really the salt of the earth in every country and who work for the work's sake, who do not care for name or fame or even to go to heaven. They work because good will come of it. There are others who do good to the poor and help mankind for still higher motives because they believe in doing good and love good. The motive for name is fame seldom bring immediate results as a rule. They come to us when we are old and have almost done with life. If a man works without any selfish motive in view, does he not gain anything? Yes, he gains the highest. Unselfishness is more paying. Only people have not the patience to practice it. It is more paying from the point of view of health also. Love, truth, and unselfishness are the power. In the first place, a man who works for 5 days or even for 5 minutes without any selfish motive, whatever, without thinking of future of heaven, of punishment, or anything of kind, has in him the capacity to become a powerful moral giant. It is hard to do it, but in the heart of our hearts we know its value. And the good is bring, and it is the greatest manifestations of power, the tremendous restraints. Self restraints is a manifestation of greatest power than all outgoing action. A carriage with 4 horses may rush down a hill uncertain, or a coach may curb the horses, which is the greater manifestation of power to let them go or to hold them. A cannonball flying through the air goes a long distance and fall. Another is cut short in flight by striking against a wall, and the impact generally intense heat. All outgoing energy follows selfish motive is frittered away. It will not cause power to return to you, but it's refrained. It will it will result in development of power. The self-control will tend to produce a mighty will. A character will make a Christ or a Buddha. Foolish men do not know the secret. They nevertheless want to rule mankind. Even a fool may rule the world. If he works in waits, let him wait the world. Let him wait a few years. Stay in that foolish idea of governing him, and that idea is only gone. He will be a power in the world. The majority of us cannot see beyond a few years, just as some animals cannot see beyond a few steps. Just a little narrow circle. That is our world. We have not the patience to look beyond, and thus become immoral and weak. This is our weakness, our powerlessness. Even the lowest form of work are not to be despised. Let the men who know no better work for selfish ends, for the name and fame, but everyone should always try to get to higher and higher motives and to understand them. To work we have the right, but to the fruit thereof, leave the fruits alone. Why care for results if you wish to help a man? Never think what that man's attitude should be towards you. If you want to do a great or a good work, do not trouble to think what the results will be. Then arise in a difficult questions in this idle of work. Intense activity is necessary. We must always work. We cannot live in a minute without work. What then become of rest? Here is one side of the left life struggle, work, in which we all whirled rapidly round, and here is the other, that of calm, retiring, relocations, everything is a peaceful around. There is a very little of noise and show, only nature with her animals and flowers and mountains. Neither of them is perfect picture. A man used to solitude, if brought in contact with the surging whirlpool of the world, will be crushed by it, just as the fish that lives in the deeper sea water, as soon as it's brought to the surface, breaking into pieces, deprived of the weight of water on it, and that had kept it together. Can a man who has been used to the turmoil and the rush of life live at ease if it comes to a quiet place? He suffers and preachers may lose the mind. The idle man is he who, in the midst of the greatest silence and solitude, find the intense activity, and in the midst of the intensity activity, find the silence and solitude of the desert. He has learned the secret of restraint. He has the control himself. He goes through the street of a big city with all its traffic, and his mind is calm as if he were in a cave where not a sound could reach him, and he is intensely working all the time. That is the idea of Karma Yoga. And if you have attained to that, you have really learned the secret of work. But we have to begin from the beginning, to take up the works as they come to us and slowly make ourselves more unselfish every day. We must do the work and find out the motive powers that prompt us. And almost without exceptions, in the first years, we shall find that our motives are always selfish. But gradually, this selfishness will melt by persistence. Till last will come the time when we shall be able to do the really unselfish work. We may all hope that someday or other, as we struggle through the paths of life, there will come a time when we shall become perfectly unselfish. And the moment we attain to that, all our powers will be concentrated, and the knowledge which is ours will be manifest. Thank you guys. Hope you liked it.